Coach, on the road once again, taking youngsters behind the scenes of what it's like being a big league ball player. And I got the man here, the White Sox, Renteria. How we doing?
Good, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Well, I mean, it's been a rebuild season
Yeah.
for you. Can you reflect back over this year thus far?
Well, it's been, a very trying season for everybody. We're trying to discover and filter out and see, how these young men are going to continue to develop and hopefully be part of, what moves on in the future. Not everyone will be here, but they're sure trying to give us something to think about in terms of how we move forward and how we're going to, add those young men that, in the coming years will be a part of this organization and hopefully helping us win a lot of ball games.
And how about some of the highlights so far?
Well, we've had some tremendous growth in some of our frontline starters, Lucas Giolito and Lopez, and we had Kopech come up, and unfortunately we'll have surgery this year, but Carlos Rondon has also shown signs of growth now this year. I think we've had some growth with Timmy Anderson playing a tremendous shortstop. Moncada starting to scratch a little bit of the surface. We have our catchers, even though Wellington was gone for a little while, I thought Schmitty and Narby did a nice job for us handling these guys. I do think that, Narby had probably one of the better offensive seasons he's probably had in his career. And then we had the big old surprise with Daniel Palka coming in as a gentleman that they targeted and took in the free agent market. And we got him in here, and he has become one of probably a fan favorite. Can pop a ball out of the ballpark. Is one of the team leaders in rookies with homers. And is able to come off the bench and do something special. It seems like every time he gets in there, he's able to do something. So, a lot of different things that have been going on that have been very positive.
And you winded down the last week of the season. I mean, it's a family, it's a friendship, and you like Papa Bear, Rick Rinder. So, I mean, what is your thoughts and, as departure come for these guys?
Well, I think that I'm hoping that they've enjoyed or are enjoying the journey. I hope they've learned a lot. I hope they've learned a lot about themselves. I hope they've learned more than just playing the game of baseball. They've learned more about, what it is to be a man, about owning and being responsible and accountable to oneself and one's teammates and an organization. I think they've done and continue to do the best that they possibly can on a daily basis. And hopefully they're able to reflect at the end of the year and look at the things that have gone well and things that haven't, and learn from them and be ready to continue to push themselves as individuals and collectively to be the best it can be.
Last two questions. The game constantly evolves and players learn and develop. As a manager, how much of a learning curve has it been from you?
Well, I think that, with every season comes different challenges. I think you have to be creative. I think when you're going through a situation in which you're trying to formulate and rebuild an organization from the bottom up, and you're always trying to find ways to maximize what these guys are capable of doing. So it's also been a very informative year for me to be able to see the different things we might be able to do as we move forward, taking into account all the different challenges that arise. And so for me, it's been also just as much an opportunity to learn as much about the game. You never stop learning. You're always evolving. I think anybody who thinks that they've learned it all is probably going to at some point hit a wall. So, but we all learn.
And the season ends in a week.
Yeah, and then in a couple of weeks, the thought of 2019 already starts.
Coach Rick Renteria, appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks
a lot.